Every now and then, I'll be checking the comment section here on YouTube, and someone will say that I am better than the talking heads at ESPN and I should be working at the network. It's always a nice compliment. I understand the sentiment behind it, but a couple of things though. Number one, of course, I'm better than the contributors at ESPN. I mean, that is not necessarily an accomplishment. You get something here on the channel that you will never, ever get from ESPN, the truth. I'd say and point out things that are considered to be taboo at the worldwide leader of woke. And number two, I would never work at ESPN, at least in its current state. There is not enough money in the world for me to be silenced, for me to be miserable waking up every morning. I am not Stephen A. Smith, who we're going to get to here in just a second, but I'm not Stephen A. Smith. My opinion is not for sale. My integrity is not for sale. Stephen A. made the decision that $12 million every year was worth selling his integrity. More power to him. It's his life. He has to live with that choice. Since the summer of 2020, I have been claiming that there was a clear bias at ESPN. That bias increased through 2021 to the point where the network has basically become BET. You are more likely to find a white person living in the jungles of Sudan than see one on television at ESPN. Which is fine. That's fine. ESPN can do whatever the hell they want with their network. But just like with everything else, it's the hypocrisy that I have a problem with. I don't have an issue with an all black network at ESPN. I really don't. The problem comes in when you push me this premise that you're all about social equity and diversity. We want equal opportunities for all people. Don't shit in my grill and tell me you accidentally burnt the sausage. I am all about transparency. If ESPN's mission is to cater to an African American audience by featuring mainly black on air personalities, fine. That's cool with me. Matter of fact, I would watch if they would keep the political and social bullshit out of it. I think most people share my opinion. You lose all credibility, you lose all respect when you hide your true intentions. So, for nearly 2 years, this has been my suspicion at ESPN. Now, it looks like we might be getting some proof. Not that we needed proof to know that ESPN has their head up their ass of BLM, but it seems like we're getting some concrete proof. Yesterday, Project Veritas released a teaser of an investigation they conducted at ESPN. Now, to be fair, Project Veritas is a far, far right group. This piece on ESPN that's being released later tonight, I don't expect it to be objective. I'm about to show you a teaser. It features several people who work at ESPN. Now, I don't know if these people knew that they were being recorded or knew they were part of an investigation. I don't know. Project Veritas, they have been accused in the past of secretly recording people. I just wanted to make sure that we are fully transparent here. Roll the film.
I mean, I'm embarrassed sometimes to tell people I work for ESPN and Disney.
Yeah, it has different connotations now.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's a global entity of forced thought.
The conversations that have been had in front of me at work, like, I mean, just blatantly racist complaining to me that we have 3 white hosts. And I'm like, what do you want me? Do you want me to leave?
Like, especially with the Black Lives Matter thing, they dove into that to try to be like a face for it all. Since they started doing that, now they're playing more of a role in racism and whatnot.
You go tell anybody, hey, we really need you to work on this. This is what needs to be done. This is the protocol. This is standard operating procedure. You're racist.
I want you to think about something for a second. You heard Alyssa Lang in that clip. She said that executives at ESPN approached her complaining that she was on a show, I think it was on the SEC network, but she was on a show that featured 3 white hosts. That is a clear problem. There's a clear lack of diversity on that show. The last I checked, Alyssa Lang was a woman. Using woke logic, that makes her part of a protected class. I'm going to assume Alyssa Lang is not woke. She's sexy as fuck, so she can't be woke. Woke women, they look more like Jamel Hill or Joy Behar. You don't feel like making yourself attractive when you lead a life of misery. But just think for a second if Alyssa Lang approached executives at ESPN and complained about woke take every morning featuring all black men, because that's what the show is 99% of the time, all black dudes. What would the reaction be if Alyssa Lang had done that? If a recording came out, what would the reaction be? Her career in the mainstream media would be over. But Stephen A. Smith, he can go on Woke Take every morning and complain about how mistreated black people are in sports and in the media. Right now, the NFL has 4 minority head coaches. The Texans are reportedly looking to hire Lovie Smith. That would make it 5. If Lovie Smith is hired, that would mean 16% of head coaching positions in the NFL would be filled by minorities. Now, that's great news, right? This should make Stephen A. Smith happy, right? He should be flaunting his 2-inch erection across the halls of ESPN, right? ESPN, Stephen A., the lawsuit filed by Brian Flores, they're always preaching about social equity. We need diversity. We need social equity. That social equity only applies when it fits the narrative that they've created. Check out this clip of Stephen A. Smith this morning on Woke Take.
Number 2, when we look at Mike McDaniels, we wish him nothing but the best. What did you say? He's mixed? Is that what you said, Molly?
Multiracial is how he identifies.
That's how he identifies himself, multiracial.
Yeah, multiracial.
Okay, fine. No problem. This was a conversation last week about black men not getting jobs in the National Football League as head coaches. That's what, you can be multiracial, that's fine.
His father's black.
That's fine. I understand.
His father's black.
I understand that. I'm not knocking him. I wish him nothing but the best. I wish him nothing but the best. And he's been a coordinator in the National Football League. Good luck to him. Okay? What I'm saying is the conversation last week pertaining to the Brian Flores situation is the scarcity of black men who have been given opportunities to be head coaches in the National Football League.
Oh, the truth is finally revealed. Finally, we get some truth on ESPN. This is not about social equity. It's not about diversity. I'll use the words of Stephen A. himself. It's about getting more black men head coaching jobs in the NFL. If you happen to be Hispanic, you're just shit out of luck. The agenda is not fighting for you. And did you hear Molly Karam, or whatever the fuck her name is? Did you hear her and Stephen A. going back and forth about Mike McDaniel? He identifies as a multiracial person. What kind of bullshit is that? Don't lump Mike McDaniel in with the identifiers. Leah Thomas was a dude who identifies as a woman. Robert Smigel is a man who identifies as Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. Mike McDaniel doesn't identify as multiracial. He is multiracial. There is a huge difference between an identifier and the real deal. Caitlyn Jenner, for example. Caitlyn Jenner doesn't identify as a woman. She is a woman. She might not be biologically, you may not agree with how she became a woman, but she's a damn woman nonetheless. In the late 60s and through the 70s, there used to be this term that was coined by the media. It was called white flight. The country back then wasn't nearly as open to racial diversity as it is today. Now, during the late 60s, 70s, the government was trying to force integration. They were moving black families into white neighborhoods, into white schools. The term white flight, it came about because white families were moving out of these neighborhoods, moving out of these schools. They were moving into the suburbs. Now, that's not me endorsing it. I'm just telling you what happened. Now, you can make the case the same thing's happening at ESPN today, but there's a difference. White people were voluntarily moving in the 60s and 70s. Today at ESPN, white people are leaving for a variety of reasons. Some forced out, some laid off, some voluntary. Maybe some just aren't comfortable with the state of the network. Mike Golick Jr., he added his name to the list this morning. He follows in the footsteps of his father, who left after 20 plus years at the network. Kenny Mayne, Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, Rachel Nichols. The list goes on and on. Why? Why does this continue to happen at ESPN? Maybe we will find out tonight when Project Veritas releases their full investigation. Judging off of the teaser that I shared with you, it's not hard to come up with your own conclusion. It is possible executives at ESPN are making it increasingly uncomfortable for you to be white and for you to work at the network. I thought the goal at ESPN was ending racism, social equity. If this situation were reversed, lawsuits would be filed, federal investigations would be launched. It would be the leading news story in the mainstream media. Deadspin would publish an expose that no one would read. Hell, they are bitching and complaining that the NFL doesn't have enough minorities in coaching positions. Where is this same outrage about ESPN? I thought, like I said, this was all about social equity. You know how many non-minorities under 40 years old that are in a prominent pundit position at ESPN? Two. The hypocrisy is real. After this investigation is released tonight, Alyssa Lang, she can kiss her career at ESPN goodbye. Hopefully, it'll be the best thing to happen to her. ESPN and the mainstream media, they are dying brands, and they know it. There will always be a need for investigation journalists, real journalists, but that's not what ESPN is anymore. It's nothing but opinion shows full of opinions that the majority of the population doesn't want to hear. More and more people would rather listen to a jackass like me on YouTube than hear more of the constant complaining of Stephen A. Smith. All right, let me know what you guys think. Are you surprised by what Project Veritas uncovered at ESPN? Also, Stephen A. Smith. Whatever. Well, I don't even know what else needs to be said about Stephen A. Smith. Just sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.